Hey YouTube, this is Pamela, and happy 4th of July. Here's my mural montage that I put together at City Swiggers, the beer store. And this is my mural montage that I put up. I always have something, often it's relevant. And it's actually the day after 4th of July, 2016. And Foundations of a New Nation, July 4th, 1776. And just quickly, I have pictures of George Washington and John Adams, Patrick Henry. Now, some of these are not really founding fathers, but they are great leaders of our country. Liberty and freedom. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Patrick Henry. So that's very centrally located here. And so these are quotes. And let me just quickly read them. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Timid men prefer the calm of despotism to the tempestuous sea of liberty. Thomas Jefferson. They can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin. It would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Tom Paine. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. Let's go over here. Tyranny. Government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. The duty of a true patriot is to protect his country from its government. These are the times that try men's soul. Tom Paine. When the people fear their government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. All authority belongs to the people. A little rebellion now and then is a good thing, and as necessary in the political world as storms in the physical. Tyranny is defined as that which is legal for the government but illegal for the citizenry. Thomas Jefferson. The government is the servant, not the master of the people. George Washington. The liberties of people never were nor ever will be secure when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. Right under that, war. He who is the author of war lets loose the whole contagion of hell and opens a vein that bleeds a nation to death. Tom Paine. Okay. Let's go over here while we're down over in this area. Collectivism. A government big enough to give you everything you want is strong enough to take everything you have. The principle of spending money to be paid to posterity under the name of funding is swindling futurity on a large scale. The democracy will cease to exist when you take away from those who are willing to work and give to those who would not. I think we have more machinery of government than is necessary. Too many parasites living on the labor of the industrious. Thomas Jefferson. Okay, let's go over here. Debt. It is incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes. I place economy among the first and most important virtues, and public debt as the greatest of dangers to be feared. To preserve our independence, we must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt. I hope a tax will be preferred to a loan, which threatens to saddle us with a perpetual debt, because it will awaken the attention of the people and make reformation and economy and the principle of the next election. In other words, Thomas Jefferson is saying we need to tax people, not just send the nation into debt. We must, if we need taxes, if there are things to pay for, let's tax them. There are two ways to conquer and enslave a country. One is by the sword, the other is by debt. John Adams. He that goes a-borrowing goes a-sorrowing. Benjamin Franklin. Now we got James Madison there. Okay, now here's one of my favorite, and as you can see, it's the longest one. The banks. The refusal of King George III to allow the colonies to operate an honest money system which freed the ordinary man from the clutches of the money manipulators was probably the prime cause of the revolution. That's something we didn't learn in school. Benjamin Franklin. I killed the bank. Andrew Jackson on his tombstone. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow the banks to control the issuance of their currency instead of Congress, first by inflation and then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children will wake up homeless on the continent their fathers occupied. The eyes of our citizens are not sufficiently open to the true cause of our distress. They ascribe them to everything but their true cause, the banking system. The issuing power of money should be taken away from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs. And as we know, the Federal Reserve is neither federal nor does it have any reserves. That was Thomas Jefferson. History records that the money changers have used every form of abuse, intrigue, deceit, and violent means possible to maintain their control over governments by controlling money and its issuance. James Madison. All the perplexities, confusion, and distress in America arise not from the defeats of their Constitution or Confederation, not from want of honor or virtue so much as from the downright ignorance of the nature of coin, credit, and circulation. John Adams. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Henry Ford. Now, Henry Ford, of course, was nowhere near being a founding father. And again, there is Andrew Jackson. Let me just slowly go up again. John Adams at the top. George Washington. What did he say about freedom of speech? If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. George Washington. And here's a picture. Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin. And since we are in a beer store, I put this one up, which is, we are not entirely sure Benjamin Franklin ever said this, but we celebrate the quote, "Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Benjamin Franklin. And again, Patrick Henry, firebrand of the Revolution. Okay, and then just here's Tom Paine. And the right to bear arms. Here's the real reason why we have a Second Amendment and we get caught up in everything else. Right to bear arms. The strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is, at last resort, to protect them against tyranny and the government. Thomas Jefferson. Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed. Make yourself sheep, and the wolves will eat you. Benjamin Franklin. So that concludes the quotes. I will have them all down in text form at the bottom of this in the show notes for this video. And just a quick look-see at the beer store. La-da-da. I'm getting ready to put up another mural montage. While this one was up, it was interesting because it seems that many of the tenets that are expressed by these founding fathers are no longer appreciated, or are they understood? And in conclusion, I would say that the fears of our founding fathers have all come to pass, particularly the banks with the Federal Reserve, and the money supply being controlled by the banks rather than the Treasury. We have debt. Debt is out of control in America. It will undermine our entire country, if not our entire Western civilization. I don't believe that we have freedom of speech like we should by any means at all. We have the internet, thank God, but the mainstream media, the world is what the mainstream media says it is. Unfortunately, it's still like that. Less and less all the time. Some call the mainstream media the dinosaur media. But to me, the freedom of speech is in serious jeopardy. And the mainstream media is not only, I mean, the media today is not only negligent in telling the real news. The news that it does give us is either entertainment, or it is sinister and fits the plots and interests of the government and the corporations that really run our country. Also, I do not see anybody interested in fighting for liberty. We have been dumbed down, and and the American people have been fed the bread and circuses of the just as in Roman times, and has no fire left, and is not willing to fight for anything anymore, it seems. The values of the general American people that have been shaped by our pathetic media system, there's little chance that anyone will ever fight for liberty and freedom. Just as John Adams said, liberty once lost is lost forever. And I consider the government in cahoots with corporations to be tyrannous, how do you say the word? Tyrannous. And war, the money changers and the corporations have kept America in war almost continually since these founding fathers spoke these words. And the right to bear arms, I have a very controversial opinion, I guess, but there really should not be any problem with individuals having guns to protect themselves and to fight their government from tyranny, which is seriously what the Second Amendment was all about. That idea is completely lost today, and just as Noah Webster said, before standing armies can rule, the people must be disarmed. And this government today is trying its damnedest through all kinds of intrigue and deception to get American people to give up their guns. And with what I consider repeated and serial hoaxes of terrible shooting events, which are all staged by crisis actors and, I don't know, black ops, CIA people. So that's my what I would not consider to be a radical opinion, but I keep myself highly informed, and so I challenge people to debate me on these issues. I love to talk about it and think about it. These are all things that are dear to my heart. So thank you for watching. This is Pamela Rice at City Swiggers describing her mural montage. It is today the 5th of July, 2016.